What's cracking, people? I'm Theo Kane, this is Slimehouse TV, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you a bunch of stuff that I've had delivered here recently that's pretty much all come all the way over from Japan. I've got some old stuff, I've got some new stuff, I've got some things that have been gifted to me, some stuff that I want to showcase that my friends have made, and then also some stuff that I've purchased as well, one of which you'll have just seen me put together in the intro. And another that I'm just power lining now, which is basically a fancy word for drawing down all the little creases in your gunpla kit with a little gundam marker and then wiping away the excess, and it just gives them a bit more depth and makes them look a little bit more like they do on the box. So I'm still working on these and I'm going to show them you a bit later on in the video and have a little bit of a discussion about them. But yeah, until then, let me show you something else that I've had delivered, because yeah, like I said, there's some really cool stuff that's been dropped off recently. So if you've been following me for a while, you'll know that I'm a big fan of Japanese pop culture. The toys, the movies, the animation, pretty much all of the pop culture from that part of the world, I'm a big fan of it. And sometimes that love for it has taken me over to Japan, and then other times it's taken me to places a lot closer to home, like when I go visit my friend the Ancient Mariner down in London. So the Ancient Mariner is a legendary UK toy dealer that's known for having the best Japanese toy stock in England. He's got the biggest supply of like rare and obscure and just like stuff that you've never seen before Japanese stock here in the UK. And a couple of years ago, I went to one of his private storage locations down in London and I picked up this guy. So this is the Mattel Mad Scientist Dissect an Alien playset, and it doesn't get much more 80s and gross out than this thing.
My gross creations, so you too can be a mad scientist! Dissect an alien.
And the reason I'm bringing this thing up, because like I said, today is primarily a Japanese toy episode, but I did pick this up when I went to buy some Japanese toys. And when I got this at the time, it was 99% complete. It had everything in there, all of the organs, the slime, the knife to dissect it, the scalpel, pretty much everything was there, other than the playmat that you fold out and dissect this thing on. Because as a kid, if you was getting this out on the table, your parents wouldn't want like dissected slimy alien organs all over the table, so you would have a playmat to do it all on. And when I bought this thing at the time, it didn't have that playmat inside the box, but Mariner said he did have it somewhere, and when he found it, he would send it me up. And a couple of days ago, that's exactly what he did. So I have showed this thing on the channel before, but I thought it would be good to do an update now that I've got it here complete. And this is the playmat. Very simple, but some awesome artwork on there. We've got a skull, some giblets, some guts, a brain, and all that kind of thing. Just so 80s gross out, like I said. It doesn't get more 80s gross out than this thing. And I had this all laid out on the table earlier when I was getting the hero shots of it that you'll be seeing now. But very nice to have this thing complete. Every time I've looked at this on my shelf, I've thought, oh, I hope I can get the map for that one day. And now that I've got it, the completionist in me is very, very happy. And he goes on there like that, and you remove his stitches, and then you stick the scalpel inside and cut all his guts out, and the slime would pour out all over the mat. Something else that I really like about this thing as well is that it looks like an axolotl, which is a creature that's like obviously been around for millions of years, but in recent times they've become very popular in pop culture. I see them in Fortnite, I see them in like squishes and Beanie Babies and that kind of thing. So yeah, these were making toys of axolotls way before it was cool. So very nice to have him complete. And something else that I noticed while I was like getting all this thing unboxed again is that the kid on this looks super familiar. If anyone can tell me who this kid is in the comments, then I'd really appreciate it. At first I thought he was the little kid from The Blob, the 1988 The Blob, but it isn't him. So if you do recognise him from something, then please let me know down in the comments below, because it's really racking my brain what he might be from. Something else that the Mariner threw in there as well when he sent this parcel up, because whenever he delivers anything to me, he always throws in a few extras, was these things. So these are very similar to the model kit that you'll have just seen me build, but like a much more simple version. But not only that, when you used to buy these in Japan, and probably still to this day, you would get not only a little model kit, but you would get some sweets as well. Kinda like their equivalent of a Kinder Egg. So this set that I've got here, first of all, is from a TV show called Blue SWAT. Now this is a show that came out in Japan in the mid-90s and was made by the Toei Company. The Toei Company did all Kamen Rider and Inzuman and Zubat and all those like really famous tokusatsu shows in Japan. And Blue SWAT is more in line with their like Metal Heroes franchise that they did at the time, which was like Matilda and the Space Sheriff series and all that kind of thing. So in this small box you get a tiny little model kit, which is like one injection molded whole model kit on one sprue that folds up, which is awesome. And in the other box, in the bigger box, you get your chocolate sweets, which I did open for the sake of showing you in this video, but I certainly did not try because these came out in 1996. It's safe to say that they're probably well out of date now and would have probably tasted minging. And the other little set that he sent me is from the TV show Juko B-Fighter, which us Westerners might know as Beetleborgs Metallics. So this is another awesome little injection molded single figure kit all on one sprue that you could have broke off the supports and clicked together. They also come with little instructions inside and also stickers so that you can stick them on it after. And they're just an awesome little thing that you would only be able to find in Japan. So these came out in 1996, and like I said, these were both part of like the Toei Tokusatsu series at the time. Tokusatsu, for anybody that doesn't know, is basically the Japanese name for like live action TV shows with lots of martial arts and action and special effects and monsters and that kind of thing, and I'm a huge fan of them. Especially like some of these more obscure ones. And the other thing that he sent me is absolutely phenomenal. Check this. So this here is a little tiny Japanese keshi of Alfred Hitchcock. And what makes this phenomenal to me is not only is it really cool that kids would buy a little action figure keshi of Alfred Hitchcock, but the set that this came from is like a set of horror figures. So you've got Frankenstein, Dracula, the Mole People, This Island Earth, all the like classic Universal monsters and that kind of thing. But then you've also got some real curveballs in there, like this guy, and then also the head from The Thing, which is absolutely insane. And yeah, this is the first one that I've got from this set, and certainly will be asking Ancient Mariner if he's got any more, because I would love to get some more of these now. I've really got the bug for him. So Mariner, if you're watching, send me some photos if you've got any more. Let's talk. Now, another aspect to Japanese culture and toy culture that I'm a big fan of is Sofubi, or Japanese soft vinyl toys. I've got a big Sofubi collection, both old and new. I go to ToyCon every year, I'm the official videographer of that event. I've made my own Sofubi with friends, and then I've also got some friends that make their own Sofubi. And so the next thing that I want to show you got sent to me all the way from Tokyo, Japan by my very good friend Tokyo Toy Banzai, a guy that you might have heard me talk about on this channel before. And he sent me this via a Japanese toy company that he works very closely with from time to time called X Nemesis. So this here is an officially licensed Sofubi action figure of a character from a movie called Psycho Goan. And although that's a movie that only came out in like the last couple of years, it was very heavily inspired by the Tokusatsu TV shows that I just spoke about. It's a movie that's purposely full of crude, really inventive costumes and effects, and is a character and an IP that I just feel is like made to be created into a Sofubi action figure. Now this guy has been released recently in a couple of different colours, but in terms of this transparent purple metallic glitter version, as far as I'm aware at the time of recording this, I'm the only person in England that's got one. And it's a very beautiful figure, the perfect type of toy to bridge the gap between more detailed action figures and movie memorabilia and then old school Sofubi style stuff. And to me it's a figure that wouldn't look out of place whether it was next to like a bunch of modern day art Sofubi toys or next to a bunch of old Marazon and Bullmarks as well. Now if you're interested in how these types of toys are made, I have done quite a few videos covering it, so I'll link a couple of good ones down in the description below for you to see. It's a very unique and special process that can only be done in certain parts of the world, so I want to say a massive thank you to X Nemesis and to Tokyo Toy Banzai for sending me this one, because I know there were very limited numbers on them. And I also do believe that the lottery that this guy was a part of did actually end last week or something like that. I posted it on my Instagram when I first got it, but I said it would take a while for me to get it into a video. But what I'll do is I'll link the X Nemesis website down in the description, because they're always making so much cool stuff. I've covered their toys on this channel before and they're always such good quality. And to be honest, as much as I got this sent and it's made by my friends, this is the kind of thing that I would want to purchase anyway. Like when it comes to Sofubi, I'm very particular with what I buy, but this is the kind of thing that I love to add to my collection personally. And I also really love when my friends are making Sofubi and when people are like doing their thing and trying to create something awesome and like putting stuff out there into the world. As I've said, it's really not an easy process to make Sofubi, so anybody that puts it out I've always got maximum respect for, because it's really not easy. And I get offered so many free toys, like I get so many companies hitting me up trying to send me stuff, and I say no to a lot of it. Recently I got hit up by like a really big mainstream company asking if I wanted to take a look at their toys and talk about them in a video, and honestly, like this is the kind of thing that you can find in Smiths and stuff. There would just be no point me getting it and talking about it on the channel just for the sake of it. Like this is the kind of thing that I love to talk about, independent, awesome toys that are made by people that love this stuff, based off a movie that was made with so much heart by somebody that's obviously such a big fan of this stuff like I am. So this is the kind of figure that I'm honoured to have in the studio and honoured to add to my collection. And part of me also hopes, I suppose, that when I show something like this that someone's made independently, that you get as inspired as I am. Because, yeah, when I see this stuff, it just makes me want to make more Sofubi. Now at the start of this video I was putting together a gunpla kit. So a gunpla kit is the official name of what Bandai's Mobile Suit Gundam model kits are called. Bandai do lots of different model kits, but when it's a Gundam model kit it's specifically called gunpla. And Gundam is a Japanese anime that's been on TV since the 1970s and it's still very, very popular to this day. I'm a big fan of it, and I've covered gunpla quite a few times on this channel, even going as far as to like go to Odaiba gunpla base in Tokyo. And the kit that I put together in the start of this video is the gun tank from the very first original Mobile Suit Gundam anime. Now, the last I looked into it, gunpla made up such a huge percentage of the toy sales in Japan, and then in the last decade, that's like double. So yeah, they're very, very popular, and not only in Japan, but like the rest of the world is now catching on to how awesome they are. Like the rest of the Western world. Not that people in the Western world wasn't aware of Gundam and gunpla because it's huge, but like, if you wanted to pick up a gunpla kit, like even like 10, 15 years ago, you had to go to a specialist retailer, whereas now, you can get them like in the high street from like a mainstream shop, and the two that I've just put together this morning actually came from, believe it or not, Hobbycraft. And what's also mad is Hobbycraft is normally like the kind of place that is the last place you go to when you need art supplies, because it's like the most expensive. But currently, Hobbycraft have got a bunch of gunpla kits in that are like even cheaper than Amazon, and if you buy a couple, they deliver them for free. So big shouts first of all to Bentlegs for letting me know about this deal, because I jumped on it and then my other friends jumped on it, Dan and Bill and that kind of thing, and yeah, got some really sweet deals. So the first one that I got, as I just mentioned, is this guy, the gun tank. So the gun tank is from the original Mobile Suit Gundam series, but what I think so dope about the gun tank is that no matter how like the odds are against them or how much everything else that it's fighting can move so much quicker than it can, it's always there holding the fort, it's always there to back up Amuro Ray and the RX-782 in the battles, and yeah, I just think that Hayato and Kai that operate the gun tank and the gun cannon are two really awesome characters in that series. Even though this, the gun tank, and then also the gun cannon, which I've got but I've not put together yet, are like so much more ancient than the other suits in the Federation, these guys are always there repping, and I always love an underdog. And I also understand why this design isn't as popular as some of the others, because it does look very crude, and in many ways you could just take that and put it in Robotech or any other anime and it would fit in there quite well because its head is pretty generic. But the fact that it's kind of crude and simple is what I always really like about it. And also, if you've watched my channel for any amount of time, you'll know that I'm an absolute sucker for robots with tank track legs. And the other one that I got from Hobbycraft, which I built off camera, I didn't film myself building this one, although you did see me powerlining it a little bit in the intro, is this guy, Short Aznabol's the Red Comet. And although I did build this one in my own time, I have built a very similar one in a video before, the Blue Goof, which is another Zoku Zion suit. Not exactly the same as this one, it is a bit different, but the basic shape and the look of the head and how they've got pipes around here and that Cyclops eye and everything, it's a very similar machine. Basically, the Zoku is just a much more simple version of the Goof and then the Red Comet, which is like the best one. And this design, the Zoku, the Goof, and the Red Comet, is, like, without doubt one of the most iconic robots to ever come out of Japan. If we take the RX-782, the original Mark 1 Gundam, out of the picture for a minute, there's no denying that the Zoku, the Goof, the Red Comet are, like, some of the most iconic robots to ever come out of Japan. Or mech suits, sorry, mobile suits, not robots. They've actually got a guy piloting these. But it is really cool to have both of these in the collection now, and I've pretty much also got now a whole set of all of the Mobile Gundam suits from the original Gundam series, so that's also cool. And Gundam, gunpla, does come in a couple of different grades, all the way from entry grade to like master grade and perfect grade and all these higher grades. I personally prefer high grade. I think they're like a real nice balance of simplicity with like nice articulation and that kind of thing. I don't need to go any higher. I like to spend a couple of hours building my gunpla, and I like the way that these look. I don't want them to look too technical and things, so high grade for me are the perfect scale. They're the perfect amount of detail. So yeah, I'm high grade all the way personally. And I didn't actually build my first gunpla until about 5 years ago, and it wasn't that I wasn't a fan of Gundam or that like I couldn't get hold of them, because I'd been over to Japan a couple of times and seen them there like 8 years before that. But when I go to Japan, I'm out there looking for vintage toys, and I need to save all of my suitcase space for vintage toys. So I could never really buy big Gundam kits and put them in my suitcase because that was taking up valuable vintage toy space. So it wasn't until about 5 years ago when I saw them start to get stocked like in regular UK shops that I bought an RX-782, and I actually built it on this channel. And even that was from like a pretty specialist model shop. But now you can go into Forbidden Planet and buy them. You can go to Hobbycraft and get them. You can get them off Amazon. In the UK, in the Western world, gunpla is now so much more readily available. These things used to be like completely Japanese exclusive. Obviously, there was like specialist UK retailers where you could get gunpla and things. And I've got like a big collection coming in soon of all the original 80s ones, which I'm definitely going to show in a video. But in terms of being able to go into a shop and buy them like in the high street, in Hobbycraft, in the Western world, in the mainstream world, is crazy to me, and it definitely shows that like times really have changed. And I personally, I'm buzzing about it because yeah, I get to pick these up like just when I walk into town now to get my hair cut. Now, like I said, as I record this, I've got a bunch of Gundam that I've not got to yet. I've got some really nice ones coming in. I've got some in storage. I've got some bootleg ones and all that kind of thing. And I'm always trying to find a way to be able to implement them more into the videos that I do. Obviously, these days I'm much more about the toy making and that kind of thing. Like, I make toys on this channel. I don't really build model kits and things, but I really love doing this. I've got a lot of passion for it. I love the anime and I love these characters and I love building model kits. So if you'd like to see more of this on the channel, then please let me know. Also, let me know any cool ideas that you've got of how I could implement them into what I do. But if you've never built a gunpla before, I would highly recommend it. Like I said, Hobbycraft have got really good deals on it at the minute. You can get them from Amazon and that kind of thing. And some people want to like get a gunpla and then enter the World Gunpla Championships and get really into it and enter the whole community and all that kind of thing. And other people like me are just happy to build the odd one and talk about it and just have it as like a little side hobby that they like doing. There's no rules with this stuff. You just buy it, you get it, you can customize it, you can paint it, or you can just keep it how it is, give it a bit of a power line. But either way, I would highly recommend picking up a Gundam and giving it a go. I've got friends that like enjoy creative stuff, but like they're not really good at drawing or painting or anything like that, but they enjoy sitting down and doing something creative. And these are like the perfect thing to scratch that itch. That's what I really like about them, because sometimes I want to do something creative, but I don't want to like use that creative part of my brain because I've burnt so much of it out that day already. So I can just sit down with some snippers, clip them off the runners, clip them off the sprues, whatever you want to call them, click them together. They don't need no glue or anything like that. And at the end of the night, you'll have yourself a new figure for the shelf. So they're my two new ones, the Gun Tank and the Red Comet from Hobbycraft, and very, very pleased with them. So in keeping with the theme of kids that are forced to fight in wars in giant mech suits, the next thing that I want to show you is very much related to that, but a lot more kawaii. And this is something that's been sent to me by my friends over at the Avocardo shop. Now you might remember these guys because a couple of months ago they gave me a whole set of Cuphead blind boxes to unbox and showcase on the channel. They kind of specialise in bringing over toys from Japan and that part of the world and selling them in the UK both online and at conventions, and always have like really premium products. And what they've sent me to unbox today is something that I saw and I was genuinely excited about, and I hit them up and said, please tell me that you're going to get these in. And they said, yeah, we are in fact getting them in, and when they come in, we'll put one to one side for you. And that's exactly what they did, and they sent it me a few days ago, and I've been itching to open this thing. Check this out. So this is the Evangelion Room by Remet. Now, Remet are a company that are huge in Japan, and when I went over there, I will have seen them 100 times, but when you're in Tokyo, it's kind of like sensory overload. You're constantly like bombarded with so many different brands and toys and products, so I probably overlooked them a little bit when I were there, but I actually paid attention to them when I saw them on a YouTube channel of a girl called Tamakid. Now, Tamakid is an artist and a toy collector who doesn't even collect the same things as me, but I really like the way that she puts her videos together, and she did an episode talking all about Remet toys, and I really like the look of them, just because they were kind of in the same scale of the toys that I make. And when I saw this one, and being a huge fan of Evangelion, I was obviously interested in it, and I thought if I was ever going to pick up a Remet set, that's the one to start with. Now, I've never opened a Remet set, I've never really seen one in person. Like I said, I will have seen them in Japan, but not really paid too much attention to them. So I'm not 100% sure in what scale they actually work with. I think like Figma figures and that kind of thing will work with them, but I think they would also work with the toys that I make. Maybe not every single piece of it, but certainly some of it will fit. And I'm not sure that you get all of the stuff that's depicted here or some of it, but basically what it is like a small set of an Evangelion superfan's bedroom. So you get a desk with a PC, a gaming chair, a mini fridge, a little pen penguin, some sneakers, just all the kind of stuff that you would find in like a young person's room, a streamer's room, and I'm very excited to get into it. Like I said, I've had it a few days and I've not opened it because I wanted to save it for a video. So I'm going to unbox this thing now, and yeah, let's check it out. Let's check out my first ever Remet set ever for the first time together. Let's do this. So there it is, my first ever Remet set. And I've got to say, I'm a fan, I'm sold. I really, really like this thing. I love all the little Easter eggs to the show and the movies. I don't know what this thing is, if it's supposed to be a lamp or something, but it's obviously Ramiel, the fourth angel. There's also a little lamp here, the little ring light, halo light with a berserker Eva in there. There's slippers and a mouse that look like an angel. You've got little headphones that plug into a little MP3 player. Very, very kawaii. There's a little cushion and a plate that looks like an AT field. This little crucifix is actually a pen. There's just so many little nods to a show and movies that I love so much. And it's obviously made by people that really understand Evangelion and really understand what Evangelion fans would want from a Remet set. There was also lots of sticking involved, lots of stickers. The monitor screens had stickers on them. Even the little sausages in the packet, the little piece of film that's on top of them was a little sticker that I had to stick down. These little booklets as well, they're full of little things that you can cut out and turn into like little magazines and posters and little pieces of cardboard boxes and that kind of thing. The box as well that this thing comes in also folds out and turns into the room that all this furniture occupies. And in terms of the scale, some of this stuff would be perfect to fit with the 5.5 figures and other things would be a little bit too small. And there's various things in the set that I feel are like kinda out of proportion with each other. Like you've got this backpack, this rucksack, but it's almost as tall as the desk that the computer's on. And I've had many rucksacks in my time, but the only ones I've had that are like as tall as a desk are like big army rucksacks. So maybe that's a little bit too big, but either way, everything together looks perfectly unified. I love the colour scheme, and I also love that you get a little pen penguin in here. I don't know if that's supposed to be like a little plush toy or an actual emperor penguin that occupies this room, but yeah, you gotta love pen. Evangelion fans, we all love pen. What I also really like as well is that this all looks like it's themed around the new Amazon Prime Evangelion movies, which I absolutely loved. Very different to the old TV show, but in the best way. And without giving away any spoilers or anything like that, if you've not seen them, they kind of work alongside the original series. Think of it more of like a what if rather than like a revamp or a remake or anything like that. So I would highly recommend them. They're all on Amazon Prime. They're Amazon Prime exclusive movies. They all came out over the last few years, and if you love the original Evangelion series, then I can guarantee that you're going to really appreciate them. But back to the Remet set for a minute. As you can probably tell, I'm a big fan of it. I love all the little intricate details, the little nods, the little Easter eggs. And at the minute, with me just building a diorama and going down a little diorama path over some next videos that I've got planned because I've got the new laser cutter and stuff, it feels like the perfect time to be like appreciating some Remet. So I just want to say a massive thank you to Avocardo Shop for sending me this. Like I said, when I saw this on Instagram, I was so buzzing. So I'll put the links in the description down below to their store. There's going to be so many links in the description of this video, but it's all gold, it's all good stuff. So once again, shouts to them. And just a really cool company that's getting really premium, high-end Asian products over here to the UK, and I'm absolutely loving it. And it's always a pleasure to work with them and always awesome to be able to showcase their incredible products. Speaking of Evangelion and model kits as well, I've still got that giant Eva 1 kit that I picked up from Horrorcon a couple of months ago, that awesome Bandai kit. And I really want to open it and put it all together. I'm really keen to do it. I just don't want to like do it not on camera. I kind of want to save it for an episode. Like when you make content, everything that you don't do, that you don't film, kind of feels like it's wasted content. I know that's like a really crappy way to think, but that's just how it is sometimes. So I really want to incorporate that into a video. So if you want to see that, again, let me know down in the comments below. And if you've got any like interesting ideas of how we can integrate it into an episode, then I'm all ears. While I've got your attention as well, I also want to say a massive thank you to everybody that subscribed to this channel recently. The other day I hit 20,000 subscribers, which is crazy. 20,000 people have hit that little subscribing button. My little goal for the year, my little goal to myself was to get 20k in 2024, and I've done it before the end of the year, which is absolutely amazing, and I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody that's helped me get there. We did it, it's been awesome, and I can't wait to show you what I've got planned next. If this is your first time checking out the channel, I'm Theo Kane, this is Slimehouse TV. At the minute, normally I do a lot of like toy making videos and that kind of thing, but every now and again I like to showcase some other cool stuff that other people have made as well, because this is all inspiration. I'm just a massive fan at the end of the day. Whether I'm making toys or showcasing someone else's toys or collecting toys, I'm just a toy nerd, and if you're a toy nerd, you're very welcome here at Slimehouse TV. I do also have a Patreon as well, so I'll link that down below. That helps me keep these videos coming, helps keeping me to make this channel bigger and better than ever, and keeps helping me bring out that regular content every single week like I have been doing for the past couple of years now. So with all that said and done, I hope you've had a good time chilling with me today. I hope to catch you in the next video, but until then, I'm Theo Kane, this is Slimehouse TV, and again, I just want to say a massive thank you for all the other stuff that you can be watching on YouTube, the fact that you come back here every single week and watch Slimehouse TV, I really do appreciate it, and thank you again for the 20k. What's next? 30k, 40k, let's do it, I'm ready. Until then, I'm Theo Kane, this is Slimehouse TV, and I'm gone. Pow!